Hello everyone, my name is Ron Powell, and this is the second version of my Feed the Beast Red Power 2 tunnel borer machine. It is much more compact lengthwise, as you can see, and now it has a great deal more boring surface. The borers aren't actually that expensive. The counter device here was perhaps more so. And talk a little bit about how the counter works. So the counter takes signals on the plus side that increment by a value specified in the UI, which right now is 1, and you should always leave it at 1. And the minus side causes the decrement amount to be removed from the total, which is 2. At 0, it fires off the minus maximum line, which is currently what's firing. And at the max, which is currently 2, it fires off the plus maximum line. So, in addition, when this lever is thrown, it will stop the timer. So if this reaches the max, if this reaches the positive maximum, it will signal through here and stop the timer. The timer stops when the lever is thrown or when the counter is maxed out. In addition, the timer also sets the decrement on the counter. So every time you throw this switch, the timer will pulse. The timer will get to pulse twice before the counter turns it off, which means that each throw of this switch will move the entire machine forward 1 unit, because one pulse moves one motor and the other pulse moves the other motor. I should perhaps note that I haven't actually tested the entire working system myself yet, but I'm pretty confident. I want to do it from over here, because I want you to get to see the motors working. So, I move it forward 1 unit. And pulse, and there we go, 1 unit. And I'm actually going to, I think I might want to speed that timer up a little bit. Yeah, apparently it doesn't work at any less than 1 second. I'm told that Red Power 2 gets confused, but as you can see, the timer is maxed out, so that is lit up, which stops. I'm sorry, the counter is maxed out, so the plus max line, you can see it's near the plus here. That's the plus line, and that's the plus max line. The plus max line is lit up, which stops the timer. Okay, so we have now sent it forward. Now we're going to send it backwards. Right-click twice, 1, 2, right-click twice, 1, 2. You can see that that is moving to the left from the little bright spot, as I mentioned in my previous video. I'm sorry, I meant to mention this earlier, but as before, note that there are diagrams and some written details on the document associated with this video. It should be in the description. So you can also see that this arrow is pointing to the left, which is the direction we want. And we throw the switch. And oh, right. That throw the switch resets the counter. Now we get it back and let things go. It goes forward. And okay, the zombie was 1 level up, and I figured out what the problem was. The problem is that just a second. The problem is that because the motor is facing that way, that is away from me, it wasn't receiving, when it's over in that position there, it's not receiving any control signals, because the only face that is touching one of the red tubes is the face that has the arrow on it, and the arrow can't receive any signals. So I'm experimenting with jacketed wires now. I'm actually not at all sure this is going to work. No, I can't move because the wire's in the way. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? Okay, we have it set to go forward because I've taken it back a couple of times during my testing. You'll notice that I've added both a red tube frame and a jacketed redstone wire. Anyway. Okay, so it looks like at least part of the problem that we were having was that this guy right here needs to be a red tube frame. Because if that is not a red tube frame, then it can't get a signal from the rest of the system. So that is now a red tube frame. That guy is hooked up. I think that it's not going to work like this because the signal face because the face with the arrow can't receive the signal. But we're going to find out shortly. Okay, now I'm going to flip guys around to move to the left. I'm not expecting this to work, just so we're clear. I'm expecting it to get stuck. Pulse. And pulse. Yeah, see, it can't get the signal, it can't get the control signal through the face with the arrow. So we do need to come around the side. We don't really have a choice there. It's not that big a deal. Okay, let me get this guy in the right position. And we've got a redstone 2 frame. Put it there. And one cobblestone jacketed wire. And that should do the trick. Okay, so I'm sorry, the problem that we're having here, there we go, pulse, and it's gonna get stuck now because it's too far back, I bet. Yeah, no, that just went weird. Okay, so what happened here was that the lever there actually activated the entire system when we switched it, because it was connecting through that tube, which is not great. I suspect that the problems that we were having before were not about the speed of the timer, so I'm actually going to speed the timer back up and see if it works. Okay, so one more. Pulse, pulse, fantastic. Okay, now we flip, and we flip, and pulse, 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 pulse. Look at that, that's fantastic. Okay, so we now have forwards and backwards working, and you're actually a little far backwards, so flip, 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 and the point is that switching between forwards and backwards is very easy in this design. Should be about right, because the last thing I have to show you, actually one more forward. The last thing I have to show you is how to move it sideways, because it is not where I want it to be. We've already bored this tunnel, so we need to move this guy sideways. So now it gets a little more complicated than this if you're moving it sideways towards you from this position, but I'm not doing that. So it's actually pretty easy. I mean, it's a little bit tedious, but what do you want for only 2 frame motors? If you want to be able to move sideways easily, you need more frame motors, and they're expensive. So, no, that's not what I want. Back with a fresh screwdriver, and actually really hard to tell. It's actually really hard to tell which way we're going here. However, if we're going the wrong way, this simply won't work. So let's give it a shot. Quick. Yeah, look at that. Which means if we... yeah, there's not really any way to do this besides just sticking the motor back. Actually, you could move the other motor as well, and if you move the other motor right here, you could actually operate both of them manually and do it that way, but meh. Okay, we've got it set up to bore some things we haven't actually bored yet. And we put it back, putting a trick block there as usual. Blink. And get rid of that. And exactly the wrong way, so tap, tap, and tap, tap. Oh, not sure how I did that. I blame lag. There we go. Okay, so that's pointing to the right, so I'm going to double check here. No, that guy's pointing the wrong way. And that guy's pointing to the right. And we set the counter for a goodly distance. Like, say, oh, I don't know, 300. Just keep it busy for a while. And we set the decrement to the same value so that we can reset it when we're done. And note that this will actually only, so it's 2 pulses for each movement down the corridor. So this is only going to get 150 blocks, and actually I'd rather do 200 blocks. It's a rounder number. And we reset, and we're off. Oh, and of course something would go wrong. You know what? When I put, this is why we have this lever here, so that we can stop things. When I put this guy on here, he was new, and I was busy trying to figure out what I needed in that position. And so there's no cover there. Yeah, you can see right there that there's no cover. So I've got to make a cover. And here are my stone brick covers. Boink. Lovely. Okay. That should do the trick. Hopefully this video has given you guys some insight into how you debug frame machines. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see if we can get a better view here. For just a minute. I've already carved out some of those tunnels, so. Slurp. 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 And, I bet I have to stop it to, I bet I have to stop it to go and talk to that chest. Oh, that's right, you can't open chests when there's something directly above them. And yeah, as you can see, it's getting quite a bit of cobblestone. And a torch! Nothing exciting found yet, but that's okay. And I'm going to flip this back, and it'll go another 200 blocks off on its own, and then it'll stop. So there you are. Took a little debugging work, but as you can see, we got a machine, and it's off, and later I can catch up to it, and all I have to do is flip those 2 motors. I don't even have to go around to the side. Just flip those 2 motors, flip the switch. I can do that all from the back. Send it right back the way it came, and we've only got 2 frame motors. So, bye little machine, and bye listen.